Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Cheryl Algie from Kerrang in Northern Victoria. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now, this afternoon, I'm going to get going. I won't wait for too many to jump on. Firstly, I have a lot of cards to share with you this afternoon, so forgive me for jumping on and doing a lot of the preparation beforehand. Now, I just want to show you a few different techniques with this gorgeous folder, which is actually, I just looked at the carryover list and it's actually carrying over, which is wonderful. So it's called Leaf Fall and it's in the mini catalogue, so it's not one of the ones that's on sale. Now, here I started to do this before I went live, so that because I want this to, this is a bit tedious watching me do this. So I've already sponged my Very Vanilla with Starry Sky ink because I'm going to use the gilded flags. I have not used them very much lately, so let's see how this one will work. So all I'm doing is adding, I'm not adding as much as I did in my samples that I've already done, because you don't need all that much. You just need to, you can put as little or as much as you like really, but I'm just doing, hopefully everyone can see that. Oops. So it's a warmish afternoon. I've just come back from a funeral actually, and yeah, it was getting rather stuffy in the chapel, so I was glad to get home. Now, so yeah, I've done the sponging first because I didn't want to get the gilding flakes into my blending brushes. Thought would come to me, so I'm just picking out. You can see it's running a bit. You might have other types of glue that you might want to use instead of this, if it's a warm day like I'm experiencing now. If you can see this, I'll hold it up in a minute, because you can actually see where it's, oops, that's a big blob. There's no way really to get it off if you get a big blob, but probably nobody's going to notice that. I might just do a bit thicker there. And we didn't do these two little leaves there. I'll do a bit here. That might do, I think. I'll just hold that up so you can see. I may not have gone thick enough in some areas, but we'll see how we go. Can you see there where it's clear? That means it's dry. So this is why I'm doing this one first, because I want this to have time to dry so that I can put the flakes on it. So I'm just going to put it to the back over here so that I don't knock it, and I'm going to stand the card pack up to the back, so if I forget where I've put it, you can tell me where I've put it, which I'm inclined to do. Now the next one, I haven't actually made, well, I've made a similar card, but I haven't made it in this colour. I'm going to try something different, so I've advertised this as double embossing. So we're going to use the, so what this means is you put your cardstock or your foil or whatever. I haven't done it with foil, the double embossing technique, so this may or may not work. So this is the clouds embossing folder. So the clouds are, actually I've got to get the other plates for this one. So you can see that. So when you've got we haven't got too many that aren't 3D embossing folders at the moment. So if this works, I won't need to use my other piece of silver, but I have a backup piece of silver if it's not doing what I want it to do. Those plates there, because I will need them again. And I'll pop this and just show you that. So that is gorgeous on its own. Hopefully that's not reflecting too much. You're able to see that. It's just gorgeous. As I said, I haven't done it with the clouds before. So then you're going to pop it through. I've done lots of samples using the clouds. Hardest thing I find is finding which way up they're meant to go. I think these cards I didn't pop a sentiment on. I used the rose gold foil and some petal pink from the other sample, which I shall show you in a minute. And now for this and the grey plate, and if you have the old blue plate, they do the same thing. Do I have anyone else on here again? And we'll go through again. Let's see what we have before I pop it away. Yeah, not too sure. I might just use our other bit of silver. You can tell me which one you like the best. Thought we would just see what it looked like. It's only a piece of foil, and this comes from the brushed foil pack. It's actually the one that's more like silver, I think. It's one that's a bit purpley. We're going to use that later on for a card. Okay, let's see which one we prefer. So that's the first one, which is double embossed. It's a bit hard to see because it's so shiny, and that's the singly embossed one. Which one would you like me to make up? Just get everything ready while you're deciding. Just checking on my glue on that one. And I can show you don't need my notes anymore. I can show you well, that's what I can do while I'm waiting for you guys. And show you the one that I did with petal pink. So you could have that either way. I've put it that way. So that's just with the rose gold and petal pink. You could do copper, and this is the beautiful, this is the empty roll. I kept it here so I'd know the name. It says gold or gold. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? Shimmer ribbon. Okay. I knew it was shimmer ribbon, but and I knew it was gold. So that goes rather nicely with that. I've just got some little iridescent rhinestones on there. So, okay, which one would you like me to make up? Your choice. I am rather liking this. And it doesn't really matter which way the clouds are because you can't tell. Let me look at the folder so I know. Okay, that's the one we'll go with. I'm not going to throw the other one out. We'll still use that. So this just had a piece of, I'm just going to make sure I've cut that properly. And which way do I want to orientate it? I'm thinking I like my pink one better than this. Not quite sure why. I'm liking the pill party. Whether it needs something to break it. I'll go with this now. Probably up that way would be best. Well, which way have I done that? Doesn't matter because I can turn it either way. Have you all shopped the sale? Lots of my ladies have shopped the sale. I thank them for their business. I have even shopped the sale because shopping the sale, I can get a few things I wasn't going to get. Maybe it's not a good thing. and on top of the sale I get my 25% off, so win-win. Hopefully it doesn't take me all night to tie this ribbon. Sometimes it goes easy and sometimes it doesn't. There we go. I think that's about right. I never usually cut it off the roll until I'm done. That way you don't waste so much ribbon. Let's pull that a bit more. There we go. Ribbon scissors, my little ribbon scissors. I might leave long tails on this one. I'll leave them on till I'm finished anyway. Yes, not that way, this way. I feel like it might need, and I won't do it now, I might do it with my other one. I feel like it might need something in between, but I'm not quite sure what. So again, I'm going to secure my ribbon with some double-sided tape. And I might use double-sided tape to adhere this onto the card too, because of the foil. Sometimes if you use too much of the liquid glue, it can ooze out, and yeah, I hope that's not going to pull that off my ribbon. I may find out, isn't there? Okay, that away. Finish this. Hope you've all had a lovely week. Mine's been fairly quiet. No appointments. Oh yes, I did have an appointment. My gorgeous little beauty therapist is back. So I saw her on Monday, I think, or was it Tuesday? Can't recall. She's just had a baby. If you saw the baby shaker card, that was who I made it for. Sounds like hubby's back. He took my car. He went out the cemetery, and for the cuppa I did not. I'd had enough. The service was lovely, but it went for an hour, so I was done. So a friend's mum, and I had a lot to do with her as a district nurse client as well as a friend of mum of my friend's gorgeous lady who loved life. Now I'm going to stand up because I'm inclined to get things crooked, and I took all that off. I didn't mean to do that. I get distracted when I talk. And is that straight? No, it's not. I should have done my trick. I think we'll be able to straighten it. That's better. Now, I don't know if I've got any glue to, oh I do, I've got these. They will go perfectly, I think. There is one little thing that I discovered when I was doing my other one. You might not want to use your pointy end of your take your pick tool. These are called, oh, I don't know because I've torn the name off them. I've got another pack. I do. Fine Sparkle Backed Gems. That's them. If I can get them out of the packet, will be right. Yeah, you might not want to use your pointy end, your pointy end of your take your pick tool, because I did on my other one, and oops, didn't want it there. That's where it's landed. And when I went to place it on there, it actually scratched my foil. So, whereas your rubber end or your putty end of this is not going to do that. That's just something to keep in mind if you're working with foil. Something that surprised me. I've had that happen before. But I suppose I normally don't make a whole card out of the foil. Now these are being fussy to get back in together into the packet. Alright, and that's your card done. Well, almost done. I thought I'd done all my sponging, but obviously I haven't. So we'll just quickly do that with some Pool Party. It's probably good that I left one that I didn't do, so that you could see if some people don't know how to sponge. I should have it on my block too. I'm just being lazy this afternoon. I've got a lot to get through. And these two are a couple of the easiest ones. I'm just looking to see in my glue. I can still see white patches on my glue, so not quite done yet. That could go on the inside. And then I've obviously embossed with the same folder, and then I've put the envelope through as well. Save you having to have leaf stamps. I don't have any current stamps that are like this. I just love that leaf. I don't know what you call it. Somebody might know what you call it. This one here. Love it. I have a retired set, I think, that's got one of those in it. I didn't drag it out because I like to use current product when I'm doing my lives, and when I'm doing my classes. For sure, if you use a product people can't get, everybody wants it. Amazing that, isn't it? We always want what we can't have though, don't we? As you can see, this does take a little bit of time, so it's just as well I did that before I went live, or did most of them yesterday actually. Just going to use a bit of snail to adhere that. Put that there because I'll need that again. And then you can just pop in. Because I don't know what I'm going to use this card for, I'm not going to put a sentiment. So there's your card, your simple little card, done. This little one, embossing folder you want to pop. You would, because this one is using the brick with the leaves. Can you see that very well? So I've put the brick through first because I wanted the leaves to pop. Or actually, one of them, I'm not sure if it was this one, I forgot. And I did the leaves first and I forgot I wanted to do the bricks. So I did the bricks and then I was able to line it up and do the leaf one again over the top. So I think you can see that fairly well. So that's with that one and the leaf fall one. This one is with the bricks. So yeah, so the bricks, that's doing the opposite side of the bricks, if you can see that. And then I've used the little, where is it? This little one, the elegant eucalyptus. I've used the big branchy sort of one over the top of that. This one, it didn't quite work all that well, but just to show you, I used the, it's a die, it's not an embossing folder. What is it called? Yeah, I think. I put the dies or I put stitched greenery. It's not too bad, like if you sponged over the top of that, your leaves would pop. So, yeah, I've done so many that I probably won't use them all. This one's with the gingham, which is not a 3D one, and then I've done the leaves over the top. The leaves come from here, this one. And then I've played with some different inks with, and that didn't stick to there because it's, so I've inked the clouds in Tahitian Tide and ran it through. That's on the correct side. By the correct side, I mean the side that's got the Stampin' Up logo on it. That's on that side. And then I decided to do something different, so I've inked the other side and I've ran it through with the seashells. I think I did that with this one here too, which is with the snowflake. I don't think I've got that in there, have I? No, I forgot to give it the one I used. Is it there at the front? Yeah, this one, the wintry one. I did write down what I've inked there. So this was white with the clouds, and I'm not using any white ink tonight because it's messy, and once you get it on your folders it takes a bit of cleaning off. So I put white ink and did the clouds, and then I did the same as I did here. I used the reverse side of the folder and I got that effect, which I have not made a card up. I quite like that one. And this one's just it's, what is it? It's soft succulent, I think. And I've used orchid oasis by the looks on that, on the folder, and ran it through. This one I've used the white ink and ran that through. That's on Pearl Party. That's the Pearl Party one. I'm not sure if that's succulent or Pearl Party. Yeah, that's Pearl Party. Hard to tell once they've got all inky. And this one is fresh freesia with the Orchid Oasis ink on the folder. This one I ran through and then I went across it with a white pad, and that's quite effective as well. Same here, went through and then I've gone across it with, and that's Balmy Blue with the white. This one, or I may have put it inside. You're going to have to play because I didn't write down every single thing I did, and if it doesn't get enough ink on it, if you do put it on the folder, you can always add it afterwards. This one I just added it afterwards. You can see, you can tell that the bricks are flattened more, and the leaves are raised. These two I wasn't that fussed on. That's Parakeet Party with Evening Evergreen, and that will go in the bin. And that one is Calypso Coral with Mary Merlot, and that will also go in the bin right now, actually. I just wanted to show you. Okay, so that's just a little bit of an education, what I've done. Now, oh yes, I know what I've done here. This is the another sheet of the silver. It's the more of the purpley one. Okay, so I'm just going to grab something to put my bits and pieces in, and these are all from the Ranuncular set, and I'll explain in a minute why I've gone with that. So this one is let me see, it's the wood grain, is it? I didn't actually grab all my folders out. Timber embossing folder, and I've used the other leaf one that's in the main catalogue, the annual catalogue, which is called Twigs and Sprigs. I've used that over the top. And I'll show you where the inspiration came from this card once we've put it together. So now I'm just going to sponge some Starry Sky onto my background, just slightly. You can see that picks up the wood grain look, and it also picks up the flowers. And hopefully this is going to work, because this isn't the colour that I used for my other card. I just love the other card, and I'm hoping I'll love this one too, but I didn't want to do it the same because my other card you can't really see the technique, which is why I changed what I did for this one. And you could make this vintagey, more vintagey with your scissors around the edges, but as time is of the essence, I don't want to keep you here forever. But you could do this if you wanted to recreate this card. That's another thing that you could do to make it vintagey. Is that a word? Vintagey? Okay, just gonna make sure I haven't got blue ink on my fingers. And then we want to we want to adhere that to there. I think my glue might be nearly right on that one. Yay. Doesn't really take long. Even if I don't get some of these cards finished, I have the idea. So we do have a couple more to do. Even so, then I'm going to put that one down. I didn't have a sentiment. I'm trying to work out where my sentiment was, but I didn't have one. Then where's my mat? Make sure I've got the correct side of this. Come on, doesn't want to come out now. Got a mind of its own. I'll position that. These are obviously from, or maybe not obvious if you haven't watched me before, from the Frame Florets set that I've used quite a bit if you go back and look on my other previous videos. Now, to position these, I found this little exercise with these embossing folders. I just found it great because, and these Ranunculus stamp set and dies that don't, if you're shopping the sale, don't get the bundle, get them unbundled and you will save. Actually, we might do a little bit of texturing on these because the stamps and dies are reduced, but the bundles are not reduced. So you're buying it as a bundle. You're still getting the two. Hope that makes sense. And this is cut out of the white velvet. I just loved that for the texture. As I started to say before, I just found this wonderful because I had done all the backgrounds, and then I went back through and thought, what am I going to do with all these backgrounds? Sure, where I want that. And I'll just put a bit of adhesive, a bit of multi-purpose on the tips. If I put it down, it might be easier. I don't want to get the foil in the glue. You know what happens then, don't you? You have a big mess. And is that the opposite side? Yes, it is. Annoying when you've got the glue on and then they jump up and they go onto something else. They hit something else that you don't want glue onto. Just a bit more. And I think I did dimension the flower. So because I'm not too sure where these are going to go, I'm just going to not push it down too hard till I see if I'm happy. Come here, you. And you go up a bit higher, not that high, just up a bit higher. Looking at my other one to see where I had them, and then I'm going to dimension that. Maybe I want these coming, whoops, gosh. Don't you hate it when everything sticks to your fingers? Maybe I need to do that because my other one's different. I was just, as I said before, when you want to do something like this and you go back through, I was actually looking for some early espresso cardstock when I had the inspiration for the other card that I've done. I keep teasing you, don't I? Nearly done. We can nearly have a look. And I'll put one of these little ones here and maybe here. That might be enough. Get off. Maybe I need another. I didn't spot that little one there, that little flower to the edge. I want. Yeah, and it gets it. I find that when you do something like this, you get more use out of your stamps and dies because you go through and you think, oh, what could I put with that? Oh, what could I put with that? So, I don't know if you can see my white. I need to have that more visible. If I can get it spread out a bit. Yeah, that's better. And then there's just our little bow that's in the Starry Sky ribbon. I think it's ribbon. What do you call it? Twine. Where do I want you? Probably. Just want to cover up my stems a bit better. I want to roll this in my fingers because the twine or ribbon or whatever you call it is rather narrow, and you know I always like to pop a little dab of glue on there as well The glue dot keeps it in position, and the multi-purpose, if it decides it wants to come out, will help it stick through the heat. Sometimes in the heat the glue dots can get brittle. You can go there. What do you think? Pretty happy with that. I can go onto my white base. I think I'm not going to do the inside of this one. On my first one, I just did get that out of there because it's off-putting when I'm putting this on here. I'm looking at the envelope underneath. That's about right. Oops, get off there. So I'm not going to do the envelope, and I just did the flower, and actually I won't put any embellishments on there either. Just I'll have to do my photos, and I'm going to cheat a bit. I think. Oh no, I don't have to cheat. I've got they're navy, aren't they? I do have some in colour Starry Sky ones. Aren't these easier to pick up with my fingers? Because they tend to fall off my pokey tool for some reason. Take that away, that's a scrappy old piece of stuff. Love it. Love it, if I do say so myself. And this is the one, the first one that I did. So I wanted to recreate that, but I didn't want to cover up all my beautiful double embossing. So I went without this bit on top. But I do love that card, even so. Even if I have covered up the double embossing, you wouldn't even have to do that. You could just put a piece of crumb cake, or no, I think you need the white for it to stand out. Oh, I do love that card. Sorry to be going on about my own cards. It's not very it's not very modest of me, is it? Let me have a look and see. Yeah, I think we're good to go with the oops, what have I knocked down? I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've used my gilded flakes. You can use these with the glue as I'm doing, or you can use your double-sided tape if you want to put a row of it, or you can use the heat and stick powder. I'm not going to make a huge mess here. I am, because it's sticking to my fingers, which have got glue on them. Now where's my brush? If you're going to do this, I would sponge it first. I didn't the first one, and it was a mistake because I didn't wreck my brush, but you can get the gold gilding on your blending brush, so you don't want to do that. And I'm just going to show you the other card that I finished. I'm going to continue with this one. Let's just to show you the technique, because I've been here only an hour now. People have got things to do and they don't want to be sitting here forever. Ugh, get off. So I'm just going to get the rest of that off with my baby wipe, and I'll show you how I finished off this card. So all I did was put, you can see my thinking of you. This one comes from that greetings one, what's it called? Very best greetings, is it? Is that what it's called? Go-to greetings. This one came from the Season of Chic stamps, so that's just a different thinking of you, another one like that. And all I did was put the gold ribbon around that one, and then the inside I've just sponged that. A lot of, whoops, I picked up the parakeet party. I've actually ran that through. You can, if you can see that, you probably can't. You might see it better when I start to add the colour. That's gone through the clouds one, because I thought with the seashells over the top, it'd probably look more like the water. So that's another use for your folder. I'm just going to put those out the row. I'm done with them. So what I did with this one, a lot of, whoops, I picked up the wrong brush. A lot of spritzing and drying in between. So half of it I put the green. Make sure I don't get these mixed up. Now, I should be using my block. I'm being naughty because I'm hurrying. I did think this technique was worth showing you. We might have visitors. So then I'm going to put, I can't actually remember whether I spritzed and dried before I did this. Maybe I did. I did so many cards and I didn't write it down what I did, because you're busy creating, you haven't got time to write things down. So we will spritz and dry. That spritzer isn't working very well. I've got another one that might work a bit better. That's better. Then you can pat it dry. Just give you a softer look, and then you're going to heat set that before you continue, because if you don't heat set it, your colours are all going to run together. You don't want to have a big mess. So cover your ears while I open it. And then continue, just add some blue where you've got the green. don't have to go all over it. Just I might put a bit of blue there. It's a bit of a dead area there. So that's the blue. Now we'll do the green. Where we've got the blue. You can keep going with this for as long as you like. I might just leave it at this and show you my finished one, because we're getting on for an hour now and I've got another spritzing one to show you. And this was the seashell embossing folder. So you have something like that. Let me just put those away, because as I said, you can keep going spritzing and dabbing, and yeah, and then this was what I came up with. So I've done the seashells. This is, I should have mentioned, is the shimmery white paper. So then I've done the shells the same, and then I've used a bit of the greenery, and I've used some of the in colour ribbon on there, and then I've just white embossed onto black for the sentiment. And I love that card as well. That's why I had to show you that one. That's a bit wet. I'm just going to sit that on top of my ink pads. But there's more. Oh, well, while you're waiting for me to get organised, I'll just, so we don't get bored, just going to show you. That was the ranunculite. So this one, I won't take them out of the packet. I will pop them on my blog. So that was garden green. I was using a little flower. I already had that flower coloured, and I thought how nice it looked with the double embossing there. This is what I mean by going through the catalogue and seeing what you could put. So I did the green, and then I've done the art gallery, art something. I can't remember the names of them all. Then I've popped that one over the split textures. I've die cut that and put that over the top with the gorgeous grape. This one I've used my bottles. That was with the that one that has the text. What's it called? The time worn type. And that was with the little folder over the top of it. What have we got now? And this was the leaves, and I've written what I did. Yes, I have. Basic white run through with the clouds, then add balmy blue using blending brush, run through leaf fall, then add purple to leaf areas using blending brush. Okay, I did write that one down, and this one's the texture one, the one with the text that I just told you the name of that I've forgotten already. And I've used some of the splendid stems, and the little greeting comes from there as well. With the, probably can't see that very well. This is Parakeet Party. I think these two colours look amazing together. So it's got the little spray there. Okay. So now we'll go to our last one. The thing that I found interesting was that I wanted one that I'd already done. I think I'd done the embossing, had I? Not sure. Last week. But this is adding colour, because the thing that I found interesting was that I wanted to add colour, and other than sponging, and then you're getting everything the same colour, which works fine for some things, but sometimes you don't want to do that. Now I've put my grubby fingers on top of that again, so I've already embossed with gold. My thinking of you to save time. And then there's my Versamark. You can run it through the folder with the ink on it, but because I wanted to show you what to do, and because I wanted to see whether this would work any better, you don't have to have gold on all of it. You can either use the flakes or you can do this. Excuse me. But if you were using the flakes, I would do the colouring first. Perhaps, not sure. Why I thought I'd try this was because if you're doing it on the folder, if you're putting the Versamark on the folder, it's hard to contain it just where you want. Looks like this is a bit hard to contain too. But if we give it a good flick, we might be able to get a lot of it off, perhaps. Just give that a hit with my folder, and a little brush. So I don't really want the gold where the leaves aren't. This one's a messy technique anyway, so it probably doesn't matter too much. Just going to flick enough off so that it hopefully will look okay. Now hold your ears again while I heat set this. Just don't want any loose powder getting onto my brushes. Let's put that over there for now. I might just give that a go with this so that I haven't got any loose bits of embossing powder anywhere. Yeah, I nearly forgot one step. Just as well I left myself a note. So now I want to sponge the bricked area with, I think that'll be alright on that, with Sahara sand, just where the bricks are. Probably wanted that a bit lighter than that, really. Anyway. It is what it is. Sorry, I should have got changed. My bracelet's banging on the glass. That's what that noise is. actually heat set that and then continue. I'll spritz it and heat set it, I think. Is this the good one or the bad one? And the reason I did the greeting first was because I decided I probably should have done that with my other cards. And once you've embossed, you can't stamp over it, because I just thought it looked better than, it's going to dry that, than adding the greeting on top, because you've used your shimmer paper, then it's a bit hard to, vanilla's too vanilla and white's too white. So you've got to work out how you're going to do it. And I realised that the gold hasn't taken, and I don't know whether my gold is a bit old or what. Did I use Very Mellow and Fresh Curry. Which one am I doing? I'm doing the one that had Granny Apple Green though. So Very Mellow, Fresh Curry and Granny Apple Green. Add the Very Mellow first. Okay. Give that a spritz. Where's my paper towel got to? There we go. And then I'll dry that. And then we'll have some crushed curry. In some areas. Love doing things like this, makes you feel like an artist, even if you're not. Okay, I'll spritz that as well. Just, I don't want any green on there, perhaps I'll get another piece of paper towel. I don't want to mix too many colours in there, do I? I do want to add a bit of green. You don't have to add a bit of green. I could just leave it like that. But I've got a Granny Apple Green base, so I have to add green, don't I? You can add whatever colours you like, really, of course. Just thought the green sort of brought it to life a bit. I might need to add add some more red Merlot and then we might be done, I think. But like I said, you keep going until you're happy. It's your card, so just do what you want to do. Okay, now go back to our Merlot. So I want that to stand out a bit more. I stuck my finger in there, didn't I? Let's do a bit more of this and see what we have. I'm actually going to spritz that, and then we might do it again, and we might not spritz it. Not sure. As I said, you just keep going till you're happy. Yeah, I think that's good. If you could keep going, and you could keep going, of course. And someone's out there making a noise. So this is my other one that I did. So mine will look a little bit different. I'll put the photos up on my blog so you can see. I'll get rid of that raggy piece. So in case anyone wants to take a photo. So see what I mean about the sentiment? I think that's going to be nicer with the gold. And I just did the same thing with the Merry Merlot. You did that with the inside and the envelope. I don't know how to do that. I'll just put that there. And I also did one just with the, I think it was just with the two colours. Yeah, it was just with Merry Merlot and crushed curry. I thought the green added another dimension to it. Okay, so I don't think I've got any more. Oh, there is another one of the ones I did with the gold, with the flakes, and I just used the other ribbon with that. I'm pretty sure I have showed you the rest. Yes. So now you know, Sharon, why I was so confused when you said you wanted to order those beads that I used on my granddaughter's card. I'm like, I've made 1 trillion cards since then, love. Be more specific. Anyway, we got there in the end. So, yeah, so I won't finish that one because we've been here over an hour already. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I've inspired you to have a go at some of these different techniques with your embossing folders. Let's see if I've got any comments to answer. Yeah, I love the seashell one too, Colleen. To see who said that. Okay. Okay, hi Joanne. All right, so I will let you go because it's getting rather late. And you all want to prepare dinner now, I guess. Well, it's 5:15 here in Australia. So, okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. Bye-bye.